I'm 68 and couldn't sleep until I fixed this one thing. Have you ever just laid there at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, why can't I sleep like I used to? Maybe you fall asleep just fine, but then 2 a.m. rolls around and suddenly your eyes pop open and it feels like your brain has decided it's time for a full-blown conversation with itself. Or maybe you sleep through the night, but when you wake up, you still feel completely drained, like sleep didn't do what it was supposed to do. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Sleep changes a lot as we get older, and sometimes it feels like no matter how early we go to bed or how many pillows we use, rest still slips through our fingers. The truth is, once you're past 65, your body and brain handle sleep differently. But here's what most people don't realize. Many of the things messing with your sleep may have nothing to do with aging itself. They're sneaky little disruptors that creep into our daily routines and make restful nights harder than they need to be. That's why we're talking about this today. Because the real secret to better sleep after 65, it's not always about pills or new mattresses. It's about identifying and removing what's quietly working against your rest. And once you see what those hidden disruptors are, you'll start noticing changes in how deeply you sleep, how refreshed you feel, and how much more energy you have during the day. So let's talk about it. Let's uncover the reasons you might not be sleeping, even when you think you're doing everything right. You deserve nights that feel peaceful and mornings that don't feel like a battle. Let's start with one of the most overlooked but surprisingly powerful sleep disruptors: evening screen time. It sounds simple, but think about this. How often do you scroll through your phone before bed? Or maybe you fall asleep to the TV humming in the background, thinking it helps you wind down. The truth is, screens trick your brain. The light they give off, especially the blue light, tells your brain, hey, it's still daytime. That suppresses melatonin, the hormone that helps you get sleepy. And without enough melatonin, your body struggles to enter those deep, healing stages of sleep. And it's not just about the light. The content itself matters. News stories, social media, fast-paced shows, they all stimulate your mind. Even if your body's ready to sleep, your brain's on high alert, chewing on whatever you just read or watched. That's why you might feel wired even when your eyes are closing. If you can, try shutting off screens an hour before bed. Pick up a real book, listen to calm music, or just sit quietly with a cup of herbal tea. Give your brain the peace it needs to let go. Now let's talk about something even sneakier, your evening snack. You might think a little bite before bed helps you fall asleep, and in some cases it can, but what you eat makes all the difference. A sugary cookie or a salty bag of chips might feel comforting in the moment, but your body has to work hard to digest it, especially late at night. That can raise your heart rate, trigger acid reflux, or even spike your blood sugar, none of which help you sleep soundly. Some folks also don't realize that caffeine isn't just in coffee. It hides in chocolate, certain teas, even decaf coffee sometimes. And as we age, our bodies become more sensitive to it. Something you drank at 4 p.m. might still be nudging your nervous system hours later. That could be the reason you're tossing and turning without knowing why. If you want a snack before bed, go for something gentle. Maybe a banana with a little almond butter, or a few whole grain crackers with cheese. Light, steady energy, no spikes, no crashes. But there's another big one that doesn't get nearly enough attention: your thermostat. As we age, our internal temperature regulation changes. We might feel colder during the day, but suddenly overheat at night. That's because your body actually needs to cool down slightly to sleep deeply. If your room's too warm, your brain might struggle to shift into that deep rest mode. A lot of older adults set the thermostat higher at night thinking it's more comfortable. But if you're waking up sweaty or having trouble falling asleep, that warmth might be doing more harm than good. Try setting your room temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit and dress in lightweight, breathable clothes. It might take a night or two to get used to it, but once your body adjusts, you'll be amazed how much better you sleep. Also, watch out for heavy blankets. They might feel cozy at first, but they can trap heat and make you feel restless. Layering is key. Use a light sheet, then a medium blanket you can kick off if needed. And don't forget about airflow. A simple fan or cracked window can make a world of difference. Sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest improvements. Now, before we go any further, let me say this. If you've been struggling with sleep for a while, it's not your fault. You're not broken, you're not weak, and you're certainly not alone. Our lives change after 65, physically, emotionally, even socially. And sometimes sleep is where those changes show up first. But with the right tweaks, the right awareness, you can take back your nights, one choice at a time. Let's keep going. There's more to uncover and more simple shifts that can help you finally get the kind of sleep your body has been begging for. Now let's talk about something that doesn't seem like it has anything to do with sleep, but actually plays a major role, your daily movement. Notice I didn't say exercise here because I know that word can sound intimidating. But here's the truth, the less you move during the day, the more restless your body can feel at night. It might seem backward, right? You'd think, if I'm not doing much, I should be tired by bedtime. But the body doesn't quite work like that. Your muscles, your joints, even your internal clock, they all rely on movement to know when it's time to rest. Without regular activity, your body doesn't build up enough of what's called sleep pressure, that natural urge to sleep that builds throughout the day. So even if you feel mentally tired, your body hasn't gotten the message. And I'm not saying you need to go out and join a gym or start jogging around the block. A simple walk after dinner, light stretches in the living room, even standing up and moving around the house every hour or so, these little things add up. They help signal to your body, okay, we've done enough today, it's time to wind down. The bonus? Moving during the day also helps with digestion, balance, and even mood. It's one of those all-in-one habits that quietly improves just about everything, including your sleep. Another silent culprit that shows up more than people realize, unprocessed stress. Not the loud kind that makes your heart race or keeps you up crying, although that definitely impacts sleep too, but the quiet kind, the kind that lingers in the background. Maybe it's a worry about your health, or your children, or even just feeling like life is moving a little too fast, and you're not sure how to keep up anymore. As we get older, stress doesn't always show up as obvious panic. It can disguise itself as muscle tension, shallow breathing, a racing mind at night. And unfortunately, our stress hormones, especially cortisol, can stay elevated longer than they used to when we were younger. That means even if we're physically in bed, our nervous system might still be running like it's the middle of the day. One of the best ways to work through that stress before it robs you of rest is to give it somewhere to go. Journaling is a powerful tool. Just a few sentences about your day, your thoughts, your feelings. It helps your mind offload some of that emotional weight. You can also try breathing exercises before bed. Just 5 slow, deep breaths in and out. That alone can reset your nervous system enough to help you fall asleep easier. And then there's something many people don't talk about until it becomes a big problem. Loneliness. Yes, it affects sleep more than most people think. When we don't feel connected to others, when we don't feel heard or valued, it can wear on us. Not always in a dramatic way, but in a slow, silent way. It creates an underlying tension, a kind of emotional discomfort that follows us into bed. You might not even realize it at first. You might just say, I don't know why, but I've just been sleeping worse lately. But that quiet ache of not having someone to talk to or someone who checks in on you, it adds up. And it's okay to acknowledge that. Reaching out to a friend, joining a local group, even just striking up a conversation with someone while you're out. These small moments of connection can make a big difference, not only in your heart, but in how well you sleep. Even listening to the sound of a friendly voice on the phone, a podcast, even a warm video like this one, can calm your nervous system and ease some of that emotional weight. Human beings are wired for connection, and when we honor that need, our whole body responds with more peace. Let's not forget another major sleep disruptor that sneaks in when you least expect it: medications. As we age, many of us end up taking medications for blood pressure, arthritis, cholesterol, or other conditions. And while these are often necessary, some of them can come with side effects that interfere with sleep. Diuretics, for example, can make you need to use the bathroom during the night. Some antidepressants or steroids can create a kind of jittery, restless energy. Even over-the-counter sleep aids, when used too often, can disrupt your body's natural sleep rhythm in the long run. The tricky part is that most people don't realize the connection. They think, well, I've been taking this for years. But as your body changes with age, it may react differently to the same dosage. If you've noticed changes in your sleep since starting or adjusting a medication, it's worth having a gentle conversation with your doctor. There might be a better time of day to take it, or an alternative with fewer sleep-related side effects. Never stop a medication on your own, but don't be afraid to ask questions. You know your body better than anyone. All of these things, movement, stress, loneliness, medications, they don't just mess with your sleep in obvious ways. They sneak in. They build up over time. And before you know it, you're lying awake at night, wondering why you feel so off, so unsettled, so tired. But here's the beautiful thing. Your body wants to rest. It's built to restore itself. And once you start removing the things that block that process, even just one or two at a time, you'll begin to feel the difference. You'll wake up with more clarity, more calm, more of that steady energy you've been missing. Let's keep this going, because there's still one more important disruptor that many seniors overlook. Yet it has the power to completely change how well you sleep and how good you feel when you wake up. Let's talk about one more sleep disruptor, and this one's a little less obvious, but incredibly important. It has to do with something that affects nearly every senior I've ever spoken to, yet most people never think to connect it to their sleep. I'm talking about routine, or rather the lack of one. See, when we were younger, life gave us structure. We had to be up for work, get the kids to school, run errands, keep appointments. Even if we didn't realize it, our days had rhythm. And that rhythm, those consistent wake-up and wind-down times, taught our body when to feel awake and when to feel tired. But after 65, when retirement sets in or life slows down, that structure often slips away. And without it, your internal clock can start drifting all over the place. One night you're up until midnight watching old movies. The next, you fall asleep in the recliner at 7 p.m. Then you wake up at 4 a.m. wondering why the birds aren't even awake yet. It might seem harmless, even relaxing, but it throws your body's sleep-wake cycle completely out of sync. And the longer it stays that way, the harder it becomes to fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling refreshed. The fix isn't complicated, but it does take a little consistency. Try setting a regular bedtime, even if it's not the same as it used to be. Choose a time that gives you 7 to 8 hours before you plan to wake up, and stick to it as much as you can, even on weekends. Same goes for your morning routine. Wake up at the same time each day, get some light exposure, even just standing by the window, and move your body a little. Give your system that gentle nudge that says, hey, it's morning. You don't need a rigid schedule, just a steady rhythm, like a favorite song, the kind you can hum along to because you already know what comes next. And if you're someone who naps during the day, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, a short nap can be a great way to recharge. But the key word is short, 20 to 30 minutes early in the afternoon. Any longer or any later, and you risk interfering with your nighttime sleep. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's a lot to change. And yes, at first glance, it can feel like a lot. But the truth is, these aren't changes that require you to turn your life upside down. You're not being asked to train like an athlete or meditate on a mountain. You're simply being invited to notice, to become aware of the things that are quietly pulling your sleep away, and to gently pull them back in your favor. Maybe tonight you put down your phone an hour earlier and pick up a book instead. Maybe tomorrow you go for a short walk in the morning. Maybe this week you try journaling before bed or lowering the temperature in your room just a few degrees. These are small choices, but small choices made consistently, they build something powerful. Because here's the beautiful truth. Rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity, and you deserve to sleep well. Not just to avoid grogginess or crankiness, but to protect your brain, your heart, your mood, your immune system. Good sleep is the foundation of good health, and no matter your age, it's still within reach. So if you've been feeling tired, frustrated, or even a little hopeless about your sleep lately, I want you to hear this loud and clear. There is hope. Your sleep can improve. your nights can feel peaceful again, and you don't have to figure it out alone. We're here together, learning, growing, and reclaiming what age never truly takes away, our ability to thrive. I'd love to know, what's one thing from today's video that resonated with you the most? Was it the screen time, the nighttime snacking? Maybe the idea of routine or stress management? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know who else might need to hear what you have to say. And if this video helped you even a little, please give it a like and consider subscribing. We share practical, uplifting tips every week to help you feel stronger, sleep better, and live with more joy, no matter what your birth certificate says. Here's to restful nights, brighter mornings, and the kind of peace that only comes when we finally give our bodies the care they deserve. You've earned that peace. You've earned that rest. And now, one small change at a time, you can claim it. Sleep well tonight, my friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. If this video gave you something to think about or made you smile, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom every week. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and join the conversation. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Until next time, stay wise, stay kind, and take care.